Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's LEGTV. That means football season has started. That's right, Thursday Night Football starts tonight, and so does the League of Extraordinary Genitals, kicking off the 2019 season, celebrating 10 years. That's right, we did it in style at the draft. And speaking of the draft, let's take a look. Yahoo had some very interesting grades. I want to look at the top 6 teams here. Not surprised to see Alan Nesson up there with Hospital Trash Can. Always gets good grades and always fails to deliver in this league. Very shocked that Dahlgren squeaked in there at the bottom. As you also can see, the champ, the 2-time defending champ, Abalash Reddy, getting a good score with his picks there. We hope he does not win it again for the 3rd time. So, with that being said, we got a lot to cover. I'm going to try to make this video as quick as possible, especially because I got to go to work. But first, let's talk about the top stories of the NFL. Let's go around the league. Around the league. Hopefully, did I get a graphic this year? Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see after post. Okay, so one of the most recent stories, the breaking story from yesterday, is Ezekiel Elliott finally signed with the Cowboys. A big, fat 6-year contract worth millions and millions of dollars. I don't know the details off the top of my head, but it's big. He got paid. Zeke Elliott almost missed holding out. Good thing for Austin Stoll, who rolled the dice and picked Ezekiel Elliott very early in the draft. So congratulations, Austin. So Zeke Elliott signs a big deal. Everyone's happy in Dallas. Reporters caught up with Zeke Elliott, and they asked him, what's the first thing you're going to do with that big contract? Zeke Elliott told reporters, I plan on buying my parents' house on planet Endor. Because he looks like an Ewok. It's the picture over there. Yeah, right there. Okay, so also some more juicy off-season news was Big Ben and AB. Antonio Brown finally split up. Antonio Brown's now a Raider. He's been complaining about his helmet, and Big Ben has been complaining about AB this entire offseason. And when they were asked, AB said they were not friends. And Big Ben's reply was, "Dirt, me rape." That was so dumb. All right, and finally, the big news that hits a little too close to home. Andrew Luck retiring, calling it a season, calling it a year, right when the Colts looked like they were poised to take that next step. He quits, citing mental exhaustion from rehabbing. Now, sources are saying that Andrew actually wanted to retire way earlier in the offseason, thus negating this whole calf injury. But so we have no idea what's going on. Andrew Luck just seemingly just quit out of nowhere. The Colts are now turning to Obi-Wan Jacoby. That's 2 Star Wars references, by the way, for the season opener. And we actually have exclusive footage. We have an insight on why Andrew Luck retired and how it went down. Let's go to the footage.
Hey, Dad. I think I'm good.
Play football.
That's nice.
There you go. Good old Orgasmo reference there for you, that the 2 of you that know that. Also, we got some good reactions around the league. Unfortunately, one of them replied. Let's kick it over to Alan Nesson, LEG member of Hospital Trash Can. Let's get a live reaction for Andrew Luck's retirement. Always great to hear from the wise one, Alan Nesson, who unfortunately I think he called this one. So, I forgot to mention the draft grades. Check out the guy who got a D. Yeah, shocking. Good job, McCready. All right, before we get to the rundowns, I forgot about this segment. This is going to be fun. Every episode, we are celebrating 10 years of the LEG, so we're going to do some flashbacks to previous episodes of LEGTV, some highlights that I know you and I are going to love. You'll see some familiar faces in there as some familiar primates that no longer appear on the show for some reason. Some people got too butthurt. But let's take it all the way back to the first season of LEGTV. Let's take a look at the LEG flashback.
And Ryan Matthews been hurt. Are you starting Matthews this game? See the injury report. Oh, okay. Well, that answers that question.
Things like running backs or power backs or, the power I formation even.
Or Al Gore's political career.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's not even trying.
Let's do, in honor of September 11th, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, enough of that. No, banana. Pick. Get the banana, okay. Yeah. No, you gotta pick. You gotta pick first. Monkey pick. Okay. Crew, who's gonna give us the rundown on this season so far. Please welcome Cowboy Jim.
To show a little sign of improvement and a little sign of sobriety. Well, Amber Alert, holy cow, Mick. He knows fantasy football like he knows diets and exercise.
Thank you to Cowboy Jim.
It's the Gorilla Pick of the Week. Monkey pick.
All right, let's do the rundown. The commish got the predictions for this week. It's early, but I've already got the predictions hot out the gate. Let's start with Party Like a Gronk Star versus Make America Great Again with David Plow. This is projected to go in Plow's favor, but I really do not see it that way. As we look at the roster, it really comes down to, will Patrick Mahomes have another MVP season? Is he going to put up nearly the same amount of touchdowns as he did last year? He put up 50 in his first starting campaign. That is where Plow's offense mostly relies on with his pair of running backs. If Alvin Kamara, who no longer has Melvin Ingram on the backfield, if he gets a more bell cow share, which he won't, but if he does get a lot of touches, then Plow's going to have a pretty good team here. Not so much on defense, but Alvin Kamara there for Plow. Now I look over at my roster, and it's very heavily wide receiver with ODB and Juju there starting in the starting spot. How will ODB do in Cleveland? We don't know. Will Juju take it to the next level? Will he be that next Antonio Brown? And the running backs, Darius Geis and Josh Jacobs, a huge question mark. However, I think that Patrick Mahomes has a very down-to-earth game, and I am taking myself to win this one, 175 to 172. All right, here's an interesting matchup. The Clock Gobblers, John Dahlgren, who flew all the way out from San Diego to join us. Thank you, Jenny. Taking on Mick Barton and Sexual Thielen. Now, Mick is projected to win this game by 4 points. I think this is actually going to be a bigger blowout than you think. For Mick, I'm looking specifically at the running back slots for Mick Barton with Todd Gurley and Aaron Jones. So Todd Gurley, big question mark here. Is he hurt? Is he healthy? We don't know. Will he be the same running back as last year? If so, then Mick got a steal in the draft because Todd Gurley, we know what he can do. So it all rests on the shoulders and legs of Todd Gurley. If Todd Gurley has a huge game, I am absolutely picking Mick in a blowout. Now, Dahlgren, on the other hand, he could have a surprise performance. I'm looking specifically right at the running back because everything else is pretty even. With Phillip Rivers, Deshaun, or Kirk Cousins, whoever's on your team. Kirk Cousins for Mick versus Deshaun Watson for Dahlgren. But look at Le'Veon Bell in this new Jets team, this new Jets offense. Is he going to be a PPR machine? Will he be to his old self? He had an entire year to rest. He didn't take any snaps in the preseason or get any hits. So I'm a little worried there. I don't think LB or Le'Veon Bell is going to be as good early on. I think he'll eventually catch on and return to his old self. So with that being said, I'm taking Mick this week. That's right, book it. Mick in a blowout, 180 to 160 over Dahlgren. All right, speaking of blowout, here's another tough matchup. It's Deck Street Boys, Austin Stoll versus Sons of Shane Falco with Nick Shook. Now, Nick is projected to lose by 10 points, and I don't think that's going to be enough, and here's why. Look at Austin's roster here. Took the gamble and got Zeke Elliott on week 1. I think he is going to pick up right where he left off with that really good offensive line. Now, it's not as good as it used to be. However, he's going to get a lion's share of the carries. He is a true cowbell running back. They're in Dallas. Now, sons of Shane Falco, Baker Mayfield, we're rolling the dice here. He had a pretty impressive first season. Will he have another? I think he's going to suffer a bit of a sophomore slump this year, personally. And then Thomas for New Orleans, he got paid. Will that contract affect his performance? Is kind of phoning it in now that he got paid. I'm looking at Nick's roster up and down. I just don't see how he wins ever this season. So I'm taking Zeke and Austin Stoll's Deck Street Boys, the Cowboy Homer. I'm taking him big this week, 175 to 155. It's time for the upset pick of the week. That's right, I am looking right at this matchup. Intentional pounding, Joe Murdoch versus Abalash Redding Iron Hayden, the two-time defending champion. Abalash is going to lose this week. That's right. Now, Joe is actually projected to win, so I'm not sure if that's an upset or not. However, given the historical reference of Avi winning 2 in a row, I am looking at this as an upset. Abalash, I don't like his running backs. James White in New England. It's always a toss-up who's going to be the lead back in New England. It's a running back by committee in the purest definition. And Philip Lindsay, what are we going to get from him this year? Always a toss-up with Philip Lindsay if he even stays on the field. I do like Russell Wilson, though, for Abby. I think Russell Wilson is going to have another solid fantasy football season. He always starts off slow, but then when it matters, especially in playoff time, Russell Wilson starts putting up points. Here's why Joe is going to win. 2 players. Carson freaking Wentz. He is going to have an amazing season. You can book it, print it, if he stays healthy. Granted, it's a big if. But Carson Wentz, I think, is going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league this year, fantasy production-wise. And, of course, Saquon Barkley. Look, there's nothing in New York. It's Saquon Barkley and everything else. You can stack as many people as you want in that box. Saquon Barkley is going to get touches, and he's going to run all over. That is why I like Joe in the upset in a very low-scoring affair, 164 to 162. Now, it's too early to call Stud World Game of the Week because, you know, that's based on who's the worst team in the league by record, and it's too early, but these two are my studs. I'm looking at David McCready versus Alan Nesson. That's right, Hospital Trash Can versus the Indy Snatch Pounders. Now, Alan is projected to win, but not by a lot in this matchup, which I find funny. Now, I do like Nesson going with David Montgomery there out of Chicago. He is the hot topic that everyone's talking about. There's a lot of pressure on him. Bears love him. A lot of word out of the press that he's going to have an amazing monster year for the Bears and get that running game going and in the passing game as well and help out True Biscuits. Now let's look at McCready. Starting Dante Moncrief. We're off to a bad start, McCready. I'm sorry. And then I look at the rest of your roster here. Cam Newton, I mean, will he be healthy? I don't know. He's always hurt, and he's the opposite of Russell Wilson. He'll have a great hot start and then just breaks apart physically and mentally at the end of the season. Cooks for the Rams, I'm not sure what kind of production we're going to get from him. There's a lot of balls to go around there in LA. But he does have Christian McCaffrey. So he is going with the Panther combo of Cam Newton, Christian McCaffrey versus Montgomery, and Jameis Winston for Allen. Jameis Winston is also poised to have a very good year. No more Fitzmagic there for the pressure. This is make or break for Jameis. Can he have an outstanding season and stay on that team, or is he just going to fall into obscurity? So, I think this game comes down to the performance of Jameis Winston, and I think he's going to have a really big game. So, I'm taking Alan Nesson to win over Dave McCready in the pseudo-faux Stud World Game of the Week. I like him 169 to 165. All right, here is your Game of the Week. Print it. This is going to be a really good one. 2 former champions, Dan Nickel and Servos, facing off against each other in what should be a very tight matchup. I look up and down this roster for both sides, and it is almost dead even. Look at the running backs. Damian Williams for Servos was a great pick. He's now the man in Kansas City. But also, look at the wide receiver getting Godwin in Tampa Bay. A lot of buzz around Godwin. A lot of buzz. Here's where I see the big difference between Dan and Jason. So, Dan Nickel was trying to be cute and play Jimmy Garoppolo. Good job, Dan, for not doing that. And he is starting Aaron Rodgers tonight against the Chicago Bears. Yes, the Bears defense is very good. However, we all remember that comeback win last year, and Aaron Rodgers came alive in the second half. I look for Aaron Rodgers to be the difference here over Matt Ryan for Servos here. But look for Aaron Rodgers to not only be happy that Mike McCarthy's no longer there, to really excel in this new offense and a little bit more freedom. And again, for Jason, I still don't know about Antonio Brown. What's going on here? This guy is cuckoo bananas. I don't know if he's going to be even on the team by the end of the season with all the distractions going on. Antonio Brown out there in Oakland. But I look for Dan Nickel to take this one barely, 172 to 171. All right, there's the rundowns. First episode in the can. We are set. Thursday Night Football is happening. Now let's get out of here with a very special tribute to those we've lost in LEG.
I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your